welcome to Variants, episode number 3 of
Brutal Battle. So yeah, this is our third time doing the Variants episode, and this is the biggest and best, potentially.
It's a biggin'.
It's a big deal. So, as people know, if you've been listening to enough of the show, I'm a member of the brewery, as in the BRUERY, their Reserve Society. So I have access to some very interesting beers. And kind of recently, they made a really cool box of beers available, which had 4 different variants of their very popular beer, Black Tuesday, which is like a 20% alcohol imperial stout, barrel-aged. That's how it ends up being 20%. So what they had done is they've done some variants of Black Tuesday over the many years, and since it hit their 10-year anniversary, they were making available for purchase for some society members a box of 12 of the Black Tuesday beers, 3 of 4 different kinds, 3 each of 4 different variants. And the variants they chose were ones that they had heard from a lot of society members were the best that had been tasted. So we're going to go through those 4. I did not buy an entire 12-pack of it. I mean, I did, but we didn't keep that. I split the cost with Kyle Norman and one of Kyle Norman's friends because, man, that box was expensive.
Yeah.
I was like, 4 different variants of Black Tuesday, we gotta, but I don't want to spend all that money on 12 of those. Now, the nice thing is, it's not 750 milliliters or anything. They are in 375 milliliter bottles, so much more manageable. But even at that, we're spreading this out. We are doing 1 per night because we really want to focus on the flavors of these, since this is a once-in-a-lifetime type thing for us. And they're expensive, and they're like 20% alcohol. So I don't want to do 2 of them in one night. I want to be able to, savor them to a degree. So, do you have anything to say before we get into this one?
No, I'm ready.
You're ready. This is going to be a pretty epic variants episode.
It's just such a beautiful bottle.
It is, yeah. Just so people know, I already opened it off podcast because they put a few layers of wax over it to keep the cap on and to keep any sort of oxidation from getting under the cap. So that is sometimes a big struggle. So I do it off podcast. I don't want to waste a bunch of time. So here we go. We're going with the first one. This was Rebecca's choice. I let her decide where we started. This is their Black Tuesday Samoa. It's an imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with toasted coconut, cacao nibs, vanilla, maple syrup, and graham cracker added, and it is 19.2% alcohol. So, I'm assuming it's going to look thick. Well, maybe not necessarily thick, but syrupy as it's poured.
I don't really think it looks as thick or as syrupy as I thought. It looks pretty regular.
Pretty regular?
Regular.
Okay. I'm excited for this. Does it look super dark? There's not much of any head to it.
No, it's pretty flat looking.
This is what happens with higher ABV beers. That's super common.
Oh, man, it smells so good. I'm getting that coconut.
Whoa. I'm getting a lot of the cacao nibs. Those are strong in there. It's so chocolatey. But then again, Black Tuesday on its own is
pretty yeah. Don't you get the coconut, though?
Yeah, I get it. I don't get it strongly. There's something in there that's vanilla as well. That could very well just be from
they have vanilla.
Bourbon. But there was vanilla in there?
Did
I forget that? Oh, yeah, there is vanilla. Oh, I was thinking that's probably from the bourbon barrel. No. I just read it and I already forgot.
I know, I do that too. I'm like, wait, what did you just read?
I get the maple syrup in there too. And I get a caramel to it. The chocolate is very much like I don't know, it's kind of like an in-between between dark chocolate and milk chocolate, in my opinion. It smells very good. It smells very clean. And it actually, I don't get a whole lot of alcohol on the nose either.
No,
it smells very tame.
You get it on the taste, though. So I just had my first taste. It is delicious. It is a sipper for sure.
Whoa.
The flavors are really nice.
Whoa.
It tastes exactly how I want it to, but it burns.
It does burn a bit, but I'm going to be honest, for 19.2%, it doesn't burn as much as I would think it would. Now, the thing that stood out to me most on my first sip of this, that caramel.
There's no caramel in it.
I know, but it tastes so caramel, doesn't it?
Well, it should, because it says Samoa, so you should be getting caramel. So I think it's probably just a combination of the maple and
the vanilla
and all of that.
Yeah.
Kind of blending together.
I may be crazy, but I feel like I get some of the graham cracker, maybe.
You're crazy.
Flavor-wise.
Bullshit.
How is it on the coconut level for you?
I wish there was more. I almost always wish there was more, but it's there.
It is there. And
which is nice. I would have been really disappointed if it wasn't there at all.
Ooh.
But I get it in the nose and I get it in the taste. I think it's delicious. I think they really executed very well.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very decadent.
Mm-hmm.
This is very much like a nightcap type beer.
It is definitely a dessert sipper for sure.
This on top of like vanilla ice cream.
That would be interesting.
Like a vanilla ice cream float with this beer, although I wouldn't mess it up with that just because it was expensive. But
yeah, and we don't have that much of it.
But just the bit of ice cream would make it even creamier, which would be really nice in my opinion, and boost that vanilla flavor. That would be really awesome with this. But yeah, this is really good. It is kind of, it's a bit syrupy. It's a bit thick in the mouthfeel because of the, alcohol. But
I want it to be like that though. Like if
you at least expect it.
If I'm having a big beer like this with these types of flavors, a big barrel-aged stout, I expect this mouthfeel. And if I don't get this mouthfeel, I'm kind of disappointed.
Right. So it has a decent bitterness that starts showing up more on the end as you keep sipping it. But it's interesting because it makes the chocolate flavor just taste more dark chocolate. It doesn't come off as off-putting as a bitterness, or it doesn't come off as being bitter because of the alcohol level. It just kind of changes your experience of the chocolate.
Right. And I think, we were talking about like this is like a dessert beer. It's not overly sweet though.
No.
It has like the desserty flavors, and it's a dessert beer in my mind because of how you're going to sip it after a meal, but it's not overly sweet. I don't think it's sweet really at all.
Right. And I was just going to say, like, if anyone asked me about this beer, I would not say it's sweet. We've had other beers that aren't as high alcohol and have less ingredients in it that are way sweeter than this. And yeah, this is an awesome balance. Yeah. Is what I would say. It's an awesome balance. And it's going to be crazy to see how the other three variants are in comparison to this. The Samoa was actually, from what I heard, the Samoa was not one of their top picks of the four.
Really?
I think the Samoa, from what I heard, was like the last one in, basically.
Out of the four.
Out of the four,
Are you teasing what the other ones are yet, or no?
No, I'm not going to say it. We're just going to go into it. So here's the second one. And this is one that I had verified for me that it is tasty. Not that I'm assuming that any of these are not.
Why did you have to have verification?
No. I didn't ask for it.
Oh,
it was unsolicited.
Unsolicited.
Yes. I believe it was Sean Creel had told me, I'd had this version of the Black Tuesday, and it was quite good. Also, I think through the kind of social media posts that the brewery had, that this was one of the higher up ones that people had talked about. So I might be misremembering on him telling me that, though. It may have been someone else. I don't know. But anyway, I remember hearing from somewhere that this one is one of the higher up ones, so I'm pretty excited. But I'm also a little skeptical about one thing, and I'll say what that is after we talk about it. This is the Black Tuesday Pistachio Vanilla Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels with vanilla beans and pistachio nuts added, and it is 19.2% alcohol. And all of these are in 375 milliliters.
And you're skeptical about if the pistachio will come through.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because our track record says no.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just pistachio, it's nuts in general.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, and here's the other thing. Here's my other comparison. I almost handed you the bottle. I don't think you're going to drink out of the bottle. Especially not a 19.2%. But as a comparison point, the brewery, their Grey Monday is Black Tuesday with hazelnuts. And I never taste the hazelnuts. No, yeah,
you're right.
We'll see. So
it looks like a stout.
It looks like the Samoa. No difference really. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's ever going to be a difference look-wise for these. What does it smell like to you? Definitely vanilla. But it also smells very caramelly, too.
Yeah.
Vanilla, caramel, dark chocolate, plenty of bourbon, as you would assume. A little raisin on the nose, too.
I'm really trying to suss out that pistachio.
I don't smell pistachio. I'm going to say it right now. I don't smell pistachio.
I feel like I might.
I don't.
Yeah, I think I do. I think I get a little
bit of the nuttiness. No, I can't. I can't say that I smell any. I just don't. Of the two, the smell or the taste, it should more be in the taste than the smell. But who knows? It looks like you can't decide. It tastes like marshmallow a little bit.
There's something there. Am I going to be able to say...
There's something there. That's not very... that's not a strong argument for the pistachio.
I'm saying,
really
okay, I definitely am getting the vanilla. It's really smooth.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
It's not as boozy.
So I feel... Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, the perception I'm getting on this is not... It doesn't taste as boozy as the Samoa. Even though the Samoa didn't taste like 19% either. But, there is a decent burn in the back of my throat. But you're just going to get that with that high of an ABV.
But not like the Samoa.
So, you're saying you're really getting the vanilla. I am also really getting the vanilla. And I also feel like the vanilla is kind of giving it like this light creaminess.
Yes.
And that's why when I first tasted it, I was like, it's like marshmallow.
Yeah.
Because to me, marshmallow is always vanilla. Like, it's a synonymous flavor with marshmallow. So to me, it's almost like a vanilla marshmallow Black Tuesday.
There's vanilla, but there's another flavor there that...
Yes.
Besides the vanilla.
Yes.
I'm guessing it's the pistachio.
I guess. It's kind of just presenting as like a kind of nondescript earthiness, I think, for me. Do you think so?
I mean, it's so nondescript, I can't even describe it.
Yeah, I mean, you can't... I mean...
It's good. I don't really... Am I getting the pistachio? I don't really know. Do I like the beer? Hell yeah.
I think it's possible that what the pistachio is actually doing to the beer is that kind of lighter mouthfeel and lighter flavor to the beer because of the proteins coming off of the pistachios. So I think that could help make it a little bit creamier, a little bit easier on the mouthfeel. Just a guess. But I can't taste pistachio. I said I was skeptical, rightfully so. Like, I can't taste these nuts when people are doing it with nuts. The only time I can really get it is when it's like an extract or something.
Yeah. It's still good, though. It's still delicious.
Totally. It's very good. It's very tasty. Like I said, it's like vanilla marshmallow Black Tuesday. Does that sound very tasty?
Right.
Because it is. Yeah, exactly. So, okay. And still excited. Keeping it going. Halfway point. Now number 3. And this is the one I'm personally the most excited for because I think it's kind of the craziest one in a sense. And the last one we're going to end up doing is the one I think Rebecca's most excited for.
I don't think I'm most excited for it.
Oh, and just to update people so you know, since we're doing this one beer at a time recording-wise, when we were finishing off that pistachio vanilla one, still couldn't taste pistachio. No matter how warmed up it got, it's just couldn't taste it.
It still tasted delicious.
Oh, no, it was wonderful.
I mean, I don't... Call it whatever you want. It's still a good beer.
Yeah. So this one is the third variation of Black Tuesday, and it is one called Spicy Island. It is Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels with pineapple and habanero chili peppers, which sounds very interesting to me. Also 19.2% alcohol. They are all that ABV.
I'm interested to see how much pineapple we get. Because we've had stouts, like a spicy stout before, and they can be really good depending on...
what else is going on.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how this is going to be.
Yeah, I agree. And, going into this, I'm interested because I have had beers with peppers in it that have been really awesome. I've had also ones where it's just too much heat for me personally. I'm not good at handling heat. I know there was was it habanero sculpin? I think that you and I had some time ago, and the heat was too much for me. I like the flavor, but the heat was too much. You were fine with it. So I'm just hoping it's not something like that. But I have had other beers where, they have habanero or whatever in it, and it's more of just kind of like a little bit of a heat, just like more of like a tickle.
Yeah.
More than anything. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. But we'll see.
Okay. So it's dark.
It looks like the first two.
And
not much of a head, though.
It smells so good. Like, there's no doubt there's pineapple in there. That might be the most pineapple-y nose I've smelled on a beer. And it's weird because you also get a lot of the stout characteristics as well. Mm-hmm. So it's weird.
It literally smells like chocolate-covered pineapple.
Yeah.
Like dark chocolate-covered pineapple. I think for some reason that makes me think of like edible arrangements. If you got like an edible arrangement. I think they do chocolate-covered pineapple.
Yeah. I feel like that's the only time I've ever had a chocolate-covered pineapple.
And that's what it makes me think of. Like you definitely, it's such strong pineapple. I do smell that spiciness from the habanero, but like an actual like subtle fruit flavor or fruit smell from the habanero, I think it's lost in the pineapple, but I do get that little spice. Also, if I sniff it enough and deeply enough, it is very astringent. You get that alcohol burn going up your nostrils. But it smells amazing. And it smells kind of creamy, too. Like that chocolate, while it smells more like a dark chocolate, it kind of smells like it's more creamy, like a milk chocolate, though. Like body-wise. So, we'll see.
Okay. So, I took the first sip.
What do you think?
It's not as spicy as I thought. It's a real mild spice. Not as much. I thought I would be getting more pineapple in the taste because it's so prevalent on the nose. It's there, but not as much as I would like.
I get a decent amount of the pineapple. I think what your kind of letdown is with it, though, is that other flavors kind of wash over the pineapple after a little bit. And so it doesn't really sustain as much.
Oh, the spice level definitely builds because I just took my second sip. I'm like, okay, I definitely am feeling that. Feeling warmer now.
Yeah. It kind of hangs out mainly in the back of the throat on the heat. I get it a little bit around the edges of my tongue as well. But it's interesting because I feel like the heat from the habanero blends with the heat from the alcohol. So it's kind of hard to tell what's what at first. Except for the lingering. Right. Like, the lingering is the habanero. But your initial heat, are you like, is that alcohol heat or is it habanero
Is this a boozy heat?
Right, I don't know.
Or a pepper heat? It's good, though.
Yeah, and it does taste chocolatey.
Yeah.
Like, it's got a nice malty roastiness with a dark chocolate flavor that I think goes well with the pineapple. And actually, now that I've taken like 4 sips, my perception of the flavor of pineapple is going up. Because I'm getting more used to the spiciness, the alcohol content, that stuff. Agreed.
I would agree with that.
I like this.
I think it's good.
This is very good. I was a little, I was very, like I said, I was most excited for this one because it's, exciting ingredients. How often do you have a bourbon barrel-aged imperial stout with habanero and pineapple, let alone one of those things? The habanero or the pineapple. So it just seemed really interesting and cool to me. I like trying crazy stuff. And I feel like it paid off quite well. It works. Although, here's the thing. It wouldn't be in that pack of beers if it didn't work out well.
It's true.
I mean, really. Because these, being their 10th anniversary box of it, they were only doing ones that people had weighed in on and said, yeah, this is awesome.
Like, dude, do this.
Mm-hmm. So, I love the pineapple flavor in that. Yeah. And that chocolate that comes, it
works.
And as I go a little bit even further with it, I feel like I'm getting more of like a separation between the heat and the alcohol heat. And I feel like the habanero heat is kind of bringing the alcohol perception down.
Yes. To me, this feels the least boozy.
Yes. 100%.
Probably because of that.
Yeah, it seems the most dangerous for that reason, in my opinion. And really good though. All right, sadly enough, we're going to wrap this up, but I'm also excited, and I know you're excited,
I'm excited,
Rebecca.
yeah.
Because this one could be the tastiest based off what's in it. And that one is the blueberry pancake version of Black Tuesday. So this is the one I know you, Rebecca, were eyeing up the most of all of these. Are you excited?
Yes. Should be good.
All right, so this is an Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels with blueberries, maple syrup, and natural flavors added. Like I said, they're all 19.2%, but it is important to note this says with blueberries, not with blueberry. One thing I noticed, at least with the way they describe things on their bottles, if it says a fruit as blueberry, then usually it's just a flavoring. If it says blueberries, it means the actual fruit.
And that's an important distinction.
Yeah.
Interesting because sometimes blueberry can be an off-putting flavor in beer.
For me, in particular, when it's synthetic, like when it's just like a flavoring, it's not actual blueberries, then yes. But honestly, that happens a lot with a lot of the fruits when it's just a flavor and it's not the actual berries, because they tend to be kind of floral to me, almost like perfumey is how they come off. But the actual like fruit tastes like the actual fruit typically. So we're not going to waste time talking about it. It looks like the same. Although honestly, when I swirl it, I get a little bit of head forming, and it's creamy looking, like creamier looking than the other three. So we'll see if that
smells exactly like blueberry pancakes.
Oh my gosh,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you get the maple syrup. You get like that bready, like pancakey. Like I feel like I'm tasting the batter, and then you're definitely getting blueberry.
Man, the first thing that jumps out at me is like an insane level of that fresh blueberry smell, and it's beautiful. It smells so good. It smells
really good.
I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily say blueberry pancake if I didn't know that it was called that. I might say blueberry muffins.
Yeah.
Smells. Yep. It's just the blueberry is so strong, but also it does smell like, I don't know, like batter like cakey, like a muffin or a pancake. I feel like part of that's because the barrel character, there is a bit of a vanilla there, and I think that's kind of
it makes you feel like there's something. But yeah, it smells exactly like a blueberry pancake.
I don't really smell a whole lot of the bourbon, though, past like that vanilla note that it's putting in there. But as I continue to sip it, though, on the end, I do get the actual wood coming through on the end. I get a slight astringency, and then I'm also getting a very, very slight dark chocolate note that's peeking out at the end. But it's so much blueberry that it's even hard to get anything else, to be honest.
Okay, so I took my first couple sips.
You look confused.
Well, I really liked it at first. It tastes like blueberry pancake, but it has a really ashy finish. Like a burnt blueberry pancake almost.
I hear you. No, I definitely hear you on that. That's interesting.
And I know that because I burnt pancakes just this week.
Yeah, we had burnt pancakes this week.
Just this week.
Yeah, I do like it too, but I see what you're saying. Now, here's the thing. This is still a bit cold. I think as it warms up, I think that ashiness is going to mellow out. Also, as you get more used to the astringency with the booze coming through, because I am getting a lot of that. It is really, heating up in the back of my throat.
Definitely, I think, not as balanced as some of the other ones with the booze level. Mm-hmm.
I like the blueberry on it, though.
But, the blueberry works. It's good. It's hard to rank these.
Not for me.
Really?
I'm feeling pretty, like this is a pretty easy one for me, to be honest. First of all, I want to say I like them all.
Yeah.
I like them all quite a bit. I mean, going into this one, I assumed, I'm sure most of the listeners assumed, these are all going to be really good. And they are. They're all really good. So even the fourth place one is killer, So, do you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
You figure out your ranking? Okay, so my number 4 is actually going to be the blueberry pancake. Not by a ton. Like I said, these are all really good. But so my number 3 and 4 are close. And then my number 2 is a solid 2, and my 1 is a solid 1. So number 4 for me, the blueberry pancake. Once again, imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with blueberries, maple syrup, and natural flavors. My number 3 is going to be the Samoa version. This is the one imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with toasted coconut, cacao nibs, vanilla, maple syrup, and graham cracker added. Now, the reason that I'm putting this one in third is because I feel like it's a little too sweet. Not too sweet,
I didn't think it was too sweet. I thought it was.
I mean, in comparison.
Okay, for me, it's astringent.
For me, the Samoa is a lot sweeter than the number 1 and 2 beers for me, and so that's the reason I put it at number 3. Once again, these are all really good. So the Samoa is my number 3. My number 2 is the pistachio vanilla. That one, imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with vanilla beans and pistachio nuts added, which leaves that one's really good, by the way. Like, just really solid, easy drinking, but flavorful at the same time. And my number 1, which was such a surprising, interesting beer, is the Spicy Island version, which is the imperial stout aged in bourbon barrels with pineapple and habanero chili peppers. The heat isn't too much. It's just a nice little bit of heat to let you know the habanero is there. The pineapple is very, very flavorful, very, very nice. And it's got a really nice, backbone to it with a chocolate. Like we were saying, it smelled and tasted kind of like edible arrangements, chocolate dipped pineapple. It's awesome. So that's my ranking.
So mine's actually very similar to yours. My number 4 is blueberry pancake. My number 3 is the Samoa. My number 2 is the Spicy Island.
Okay.
And then my number 1 is the pistachio vanilla.
I had a feeling you were going to do that. The pistachio vanilla is number 1. Yeah. You were really
I really like that.
Yeah.
I wish, again, it was a delicious beer. Was it pistachio flavor? I don't know. Jury's still out on that. But it was very, very good.
So as you've been talking, I've been continuing to sip on the blueberry pancake, and it is still in my number 4 slot, but it's getting even better. Like, that ashiness is definitely calming down as it's warming a little bit more, and, my palate's acclimating to it. It's smoothing the transition at the end of... It's the very strong blueberry, then it goes to a slight dark chocolate, and then it goes to more like the wood character of the bourbon barrel. But these are all winners. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm super glad we did this because this was my favorite variants episode to date. Even better than the old stock. The old stock was amazing, but this is even more amazing just because these are crazy beers. They were expensive, and who knows when you'll ever have them again. Maybe never. I mean, for us at least.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so anyone out there, if you have ideas on beers you think we could get that we could do a variant on, we have another one we're going to do. I don't know when it's going to end up being. It's going to have to be when we can get to the other beers that I have on hold. It will be another brewery-related one. I'll just say it right now. It's going to be a variance of different versions of Tarted Darkness. We have 4 different Tarted Darknesses, so we're going to do those. But once again, I don't know when that's going to be. But in the meantime, if you guys have ideas for variants that we could potentially get, or if you want to send them to us, whatever, reach out to us, brutalbattlepodcast@gmail.com. You have anything over there?
No, you can check us out on Instagram at Brutal Battle Podcast. And that's about it.
I'm going to have fun drinking this blueberry pancake for the rest of the night.
I know. They're so good.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for checking this out. And until next time,
keep it brutal.
I feel so